Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. My apologies. It's not fun sitting in that little room back there.
It was a little cold. I was anxious to get in here anyway, so glad you were able to get me now, though.
Well, we had some others. We weren't goofing off. We've been working steadily, but we had some interpreter cases
Of course.
and so we just had to do the best we could. All right, let's state the circumstances here. In file 252419FY, you were charged with felony aggravated stalking. That's alleged to have occurred in November of 2025. You pled to misdemeanor aggravated stalking on December 9th, and I set the matter for sentencing today with your other case we're going to address in a minute. Your bond was canceled. So that's a total, I believe you've been in custody since November 24th, which is that's 17 days on the stalking. On the domestic violence, 2 counts. The complaining witness in that case is Autumn Moat. You've been in jail 13 days plus 17 days. So at some point here this afternoon, I'm going to do your sentence on the stalking case, and I'm going to take a plea on the domestic violence case. Mr. George, what's the status here?
Your Honor, the misdemeanor case is resolved. The offer from the prosecutor, I believe, is if my client would enter a plea to disturbing the peace, the domestic violence charges would be dismissed.
Is that correct, Ms. Stoll?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Well, that's a pretty substantial reduction. Domestic violence, as you know, is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. The prosecutor has agreed to dismiss those 2 counts if you plead to disturbing the peace. Disturbing the peace doesn't carry a firearm restriction. And I say this a lot, doesn't matter who started it or who was right or wrong. Was there a quarrel, argument, or disturbance in a public place? It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. George, I greatly appreciate these. Had you sign an advice of rights acknowledging that you're waiving your right to have a trial by entering this plea. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's take a look at this. Who is Autumn Moat to you?
Autumn Moat is going to be the mother of my child. She was not, pregnant at the time. I just want to let everybody know that we just found out October 18th when she came with the test, the pregnancy test.
Well, this was October 10th, though she may have been pregnant, but you didn't yet realize.
Like at the most around that time, October 10th, I'm assuming like 3 weeks pregnant.
All right.
But yeah, we are working on getting back together and.
Where were you living?
Relationship. At that time, I believe I was still living there.
Which was where?
25039 US Highway 12, Lot 21, Memory Lane, Trailer Park.
All right. Did you and her get into an argument that day?
We did, Your Honor.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so I was laying down and I woke up, to being hit with the extension cord. And I understand she was mad. She wanted me out of her home. She worked hard for that. And that's her house. I got up, and then when I go to get up, she got on top of me and she had lashed onto my face. That's when she bit me. I shoved her off of me. I went to the door. She went to shut the door. I tried to get out. So I overpowered her a little bit. Yes, I did. I grabbed her. I don't believe that I harmed her at all, but what I did was wrong. And
why was she mad at you? Because of this eviction?
So So I guess like 6, 7 years ago, she was really bad into drugs or whatever. She changed her life and she's been working hard, so she owns that trailer, she's on her feet, and she just wanted her stuff back, and I wouldn't leave because I had to do something myself. I can't just leave up out of there and belongings behind. I didn't make sure that I had an address to go to. And I told her I only needed 72 hours and she didn't want to wait.
And she has kids of her own, correct?
Yes, sir.
How old are those kids?
So I know Athena is 11 and then Nevaeh just turned 5 on the 24th.
Well, you did get bit in the face. This sounds like a very unpleasant circumstance. And you've done 30 days in jail for it.
I just want to say something to everybody. I don't want her to get in trouble though. I just want to move forward with my life. I want to be there for this child. I did say before that, if I got criminal cases that I wanted her to be in trouble for it, but everybody deserves a second chance in life, and I want her to have that chance.
Ms. Stoll, are you satisfied with the factual basis there? He described the struggle and he did grab her, and is that sufficient for disturbing the peace?
I believe that's sufficient.
Mr. George, are you satisfied?
I agree, Your Honor.
I'm going to give 30 days jail credit, 30 days. To the minimum allowable fine of $125. Make that due by December 30th. There you go. All right, that takes care of the domestic violence disturbing the peace. Now, he pled on the stalking. The matter was set for sentencing today. Have you received any input from Ms. Moat?
Not on the stalking, Mr. Arnett.
Well, I want some supervision here.
Your Honor.
Yes?
If I could, I talked to my client yesterday kind of in depth about what the options before the court are. As the court knows, I think we said at the time of the plea in the other case, but here again today, regardless of what the relationship between the two of these individuals looks like going forward, they're going to have some type of amicable relationship or working relationship. While this child is still in mother's womb and then afterwards. So I talked to him about the possibility of this court putting my client on probation. He's amenable to that. I think he could benefit from services, because he doesn't want to have these types of situations going on inside the home. And I think, he's in a situation now where I think he's going to have the ability, if the court allows, to be with his family during the holidays for the first time in a long time. I think he's really looking forward to that. He understands that the conduct here is not appropriate. But I think the basis of the stalking charge was more of a kind of a bond violation on steroids than the typical stalking that we would see. That doesn't, say that it's not a full defense of it, but I believe that just needs to be taken into context. So I think he would be amenable to that, and we'd ask the court to do that. Thank you.
Ms. Stoll, you have any further input regarding the sentence?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to put you on probation for 12 months. I want to have some control over this. for a while. Fine is 0. You got enough problems. $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee, and a $480 probation oversight fee. Let's add that up. That's 275 plus 480, which is 755. You can complete that probation in 6 months if you're successful at it. I'm on a probation of no drugs and no alcohol. Test as directed. I don't know whether she wants contact or not. So no contact with Autumn Mowat until further order of the court. So when we start the probation, we can get input from her. Where are you going to go when I let you out?
My mother's residence at 213 North Centerville Road. That's where I live at, actually.
That's a Sturgis?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. George said you're going to be out for Christmas. I don't want you to have contact with her. So when you get out of jail later today, I want you to have contact with her. So when you get out of jail later today, I want you to contact the probation department tomorrow when you get out. This thing doesn't have any phone numbers on it. Five, 5541. All right, so I gave you 30 days on the disturbing the peace with a fine to pay by the end of the year. On the stalking, you're on probation for 12 months, which could be discharged at the end of 6 if you do a successful job on it. That resolves your cases for today, Mr. Miller. You're going to go back to the jail. You're going to be booked out. Hopefully someone will come pick you up. All right, you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So that leaves Mr. Greenwald.
Yes, I have Mr. Greenwald, Mr. Allen, and Mr. Brown.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know why they're all out in the hall. Why don't we bring them all in?
Okay.
Good afternoon, Ms. Tepfer.
Hello.
And I think you told me you prefer Haskins.
Yes.
This is file number 252085SM. Charged as People versus Tricia Marie Tepfer. She also was known as Tricia Haskins, and she told me that she prefers to be addressed as Haskins. I dealt with this a little bit ago in the allegation of a bond violation. The defendant admitted to the bond violation 8 days ago, and I canceled a bond pending this final pretrial. With the 4 days she did at the front end and the 8 days, she's been in custody a total of 12 days. The underlying charge on which the bond violation is a charge of domestic assault second offense. Let me get to that offense. It is alleged that on or about October 10th, on Vicky Drive out in Sturgis Township that the defendant did assault her spouse or former spouse, Randy Lee Tepfer. That's charged as a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Mr. George indicated the defendant is going to enter a plea by no contest. Ms. Stoll, is there a plea offer here?
There is not, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Yes.
It's my understanding, based on some communications yesterday, that the prosecutor had offered that if my client would enter a plea as charged, they would recommend, I believe it was 7 days, but she already has banked in probation. I just want to make sure that that's accurate.
That's correct.
That's why I had relayed, essentially, time served with probation if she were to enter a plea as charged.
Well, she actually has 12 days.
And that's so it chews it up anyways.
All right.
But the 7 was the number that Ms. Canfield had given me.
Well, it probably was 7 at the time you were talking about it, but she also had 4 days at the front end.
And I don't know if she had known about the 4 at the front, Your Honor.
All right. Anyway, I've known Ms. Tepfer for a while. I think maybe I had the earlier probation. This is a situation where she's also been a victim of a domestic assault. All right, Ms. Haskins, domestic violence second offense is a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. It will prohibit you from using or possessing a firearm. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, you've signed the White Advice of Rights. Thank you, Mr. George. That means if you plead to this charge, you're going to be giving up your right to have a trial, and there will not be a trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. George, your lawyer, says you're going to plead no contest to this. By pleading no contest, you don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny what happened. It is a conviction. Ms. Davis just spoke to this the other day. We had a criminal sexual conduct case where the defendant pled no contest, but it results in a conviction just as though there was a trial or a plea. However, I'll get the factual basis from the police report. It can't be used against you in any other proceedings like a divorce, child custody, protective services case. And if there was a lawsuit for money damages for some reason, your plea could not be used against you for that either. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's also a reason for no contest, which is fairly common. People don't remember what happened. I get no contest quite often in drunk driving cases. I left the bar, I hit a tree, and I woke up in the hospital. I don't remember what happened. So lack of memory is also a reason for a no contest plea, saying I don't admit it, but I don't deny it, and I'll elect that it enters. All right, the further recommendation is time served and a probation. Do you think you can do a probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You got a lot of pent up anger.
Yes.
I think I sent you the anger management. Did I already send you the women's
No.
anger management?
I'm willing to take therapy, any kind of therapy I can get. I'm going to go to Pivotal and get some therapy as well as anger management. I heard you spoke before about you and your wife set something up like for anger management. Is that correct?
Well, my wife wasn't involved in it, but I
sorry.
set it up when I was the prosecutor.
Gotcha.
We didn't have anything. So we set up first the men's domestic violence treatment program, which was very good. And then somewhere along the line, I set up the women's domestic violence program, which I've been quite proud of. We don't have the same providers. I've been gone from the prosecutor's office for 24 years, but the program remains. And almost to a person, the women tell me, I'm glad I went, and I wish it was longer. I'm sorry when it was over. All right. Did anybody threaten you to get you to plead to this?
No, sir.
Or promise you anything?
No, sir.
Ms. Stoll, this is the type of case, normally if we have victim input, I have to wait 10 days to set the matter for sentence. Do we have any victim input request, or can I just do the sentence right now?
Our office received a call from the victim today. He said the defendant's boyfriend has been harassing him and showing up at their house. He even said that he feels the defendant and her boyfriend are trying to kill him. And that was just from what the victim advocate heard from him today.
All right. Well, you got friends here that have been waiting for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I asked, who is here?
Who's here? My father, my stepmother, and my friend.
All right. Well, I said, have you got someplace for her to go? Because I don't want you standing on the front steps of the courthouse and it's 28 degrees with nowhere to go. And I don't want you to go back to Randy's house or we're going to end up in the same
Yes,
boat.
correct.
So have you got somewhere to go?
I do.
All right. I'm going to, for the bond violation, I'm going to order 8 days, credit 8 days.
Randy.
I'm going to reinstate the $400 bond that you posted. Set sentence on the DV second. I'm supposed to set it at least 10 days out. It sounds like I should get some input from Randy. My strong advice to you is you don't have any contact with him whatsoever between now and the time we get this for sentence. There's not a lot of time between now and Christmas. Mr. George, are you available at 10:30 on December 29th?
Yes, sir.
Trying to get everything done before the end of the year. Next year, I'll really be trying to get everything done before the end of the year. All right, so you're going to get out of jail. You guys can go pick her up at the jail. Reset. Re-allow. Posted. $400 cash or surety bond. Defendant may be released pending sentence. You were on a payment plan on the earlier domestic violence and you stopped paying it because you were in jail. You still got to pay on that earlier case. Mr. George, thank you. I didn't know if you were going to be working on that break between Christmas and New Year's, but
Your Honor, just briefly, was the court able to find a factual basis within the police report.
Oh, yeah, good point. It's a no contest plea. Let's make sure we got our facts straight. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
This happened October 10th. Police were dispatched to this residence in Sturgis. The police came in. There was some disheveled stuff in the house. They had some disagreement. Tricia comes and goes, and he alleges that she hit him in the back of the head with a box. And they could tell he had a little dent in the back of his head from the box. So that's a sufficient factual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are you done with this?
Yes. Well, I will need police report and victim input. Ms. Haskins, there will be time for you between now and the 29th of December to contact Pivotal. And when I see you on the 29th, I'm going to know what effort did you make to get plugged in with community mental health.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then we're going to talk about my women's domestic violence class.
Sounds good.
All right. You're going to get booked out here in a little bit.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I will see you on December 29th.
Got it.